latest with Zeruiah and Troy after she was recently arrested, then bonded out of jail. So there was a local news article talking about her arrest, and Zeruiah wasn't too happy. She said, "That's crazy. It's not a news story, and I'm not arrested." And someone was like, "They made you famous." And she said, "I was already famous. They're just being annoying." Okay, famous is a stretch, because if anybody was walking down the street, if they did not watch the show Love After Lockup, then they would not know her. And then they go on to say there's actually real things going on in the city. This shouldn't be news, especially being an open case with no information. It was unwarranted. They didn't make any articles for all the positivity I've done in the city, but I guess that's what lazy journalism is. And you know what? I've seen news articles of them talking about things she did, like back in the day when she'd help out kids and different things she did before she was on the show. But I mean, also, journalism is fair. They talk about the good and the bad, and you can't be mad just because you screwed up. Again, it's just Zeruiah mad at everybody else but herself. And Troy's still out here denying he's the victim. After she got bonded out, he said, "My wife coming home to a clean house, a home-cooked meal, and another new dog. So respectfully, F y'all." Okay, I'd be mad if I got out of jail and I got surprised with a new dog, someone else just to clean up after her. And then he said, "And she's getting dick down to the floor, the F." And then he shared again the victim's name, which shows Dale Jones, and he said, "Not my name." And of course, nobody's buying what Troy's saying, that is not him. Someone said, "You do realize you can go to jail for giving them a false name. It's pretty clear in the report that you were the victim." And someone else said, "Bro, but it says her husband. And man, you familiar with the system, them people. You're going to write down whatever alleys you give them. At this point, just delete this post." And someone's like, "Dude, you really think we're stupid? And if it ain't him, then why is your wife fighting another man and you ain't do nothing?" And then, like I said, it's like, okay, why would she be going through another man's phone and upset with what was in that man's phone besides her husband? That's what I was saying, because the arrest report claims she saw something in his phone that she didn't like and smacked him across the head with his phone. And someone else said his mama said his middle name Dale. And someone else said it clearly says her husband. They used her last name and a different first name for him. He should be in jail as well. He needed a break from her for a few days so she could calm down after she found what she was looking for in his phone. And that's another thing. People are like, okay, that's probably why Troy's defending her, because he probably had something in his phone and he feels bad. And so that's why he's like kissing her ass now. Then he went live and he made a video and he's like, "Yeah guys, I bonded Zeruiah out of jail. How would I be able to bond her out of jail if I was the victim?" And one of her bond stipulations is she's not supposed to be in contact with Troy. So what I really want to know is what the bondsmen and the police officers think about all this at the end of the day. Because I'm sure if they saw this information, they would revoke Zeruiah's bond in a heartbeat. This next post, Troy ended up deleting after he posted it, but I believe he deleted it because he knew that somebody could send this to the police and it could be used against him because it shows his real name and that he's her husband. He said, "This is what I've been waiting for." Now let's talk about it. My name is my name, right? So in the court of the law, this person is not me. It literally says Dale J. Jones. Reading is fundamental. If y'all gonna drag me, please make sure y'all speaking on Troy Dale Jones, not whoever the F this person is by law. That is not my effing name, and I don't know who the F it is. And I'm just not buying it at all. Like back in my criminal days, there were people that I got arrested with or like got pulled over with who lied about their names and they were able to go away scotch-free. Not every single time. Sometimes people got caught and got in trouble for lying to an officer. But there are times that people got away with it too, like what I think happened with Troy here. And why would Troy post this and delete this? I think because he knew that with his name next to his picture on his driver's license, somebody could have sent that to the police and been like, "Look, was this the guy in your latest case named Dale? Here's his real name right here. And I have been speaking with someone who used to live with Zeruiah. They used to give me a lot of tea on Zeruiah on her first season. And they told me this is not the first time that she has tried attacking people with a knife, allegedly. When I was talking to her, she actually had a falling out with Zeruiah because Zeruiah, before she was with Troy, she was living with this girl, and Zeruiah started dating this dude. And next thing you know, the next day, Zeruiah invites this dude and his 4 buddies to move in. So she suddenly moves in 5 people without her roommate's permission. And one day, Zeruiah allegedly got in this fight with her boyfriend, pulled a knife on him, and he actually pulled a freaking gun on her. And she ended up running to the landlord and told the landlord, oh, my roommate had this guy over that pulled a gun on me. But she allegedly completely left out the fact that that was her boyfriend, and she's the one that invited him over, and she pulled a knife out on him first. So Zeruiah ends up moving out and left this girl with all the bills, and then left this girl in a bad place with her landlord after she told her landlord all these lies. And so, yeah, this is not the very first time, and I think it's because she's gotten away with it so many times in the past before that she really hasn't learned her lesson. Then she shared that post where Troy said she's getting dick to the floor, the F, and she said, we play all day laughing my butt off. And then she shared this text from Troy where he shared the song First Day Out, and he said, walking through the airport and you just got out of jail, I feel like I'm in a music video. So they just think all this is cute at this point. It's just a freaking toxic mess. And then she shared pictures with Troy right there at the airport after her release with the song I'm an Outlaw, got an outlaw chick. And then she shared a quote that said, born a baby girl, forced to be a big dog. Girl, you went to prison for like 24 hours. I can assure you, you are not a big dog. And then she posted, all this time I thought New Yorkers were mean, when in reality, they just don't perform niceness, politeness the way we do in the South. And then she made another post talking about people's obsession with me further proves I am who I think I am. She's got to inflate her ego to make herself feel better about all this, and they're still out here trying to act like they're couples goals even after all this freaking toxic mess. But let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments below, and thank you guys so much for watching.